Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much. What if the only thing standing between you and your success is your habit of looking at everyone else? What if every comparison you make is actually delaying your breakthrough? And what if the moment you shift your focus inward, your entire life begins to change? If you're serious about building something meaningful, whether the business, a career, or a legacy, the very first step is this: cut the habit of watching others. It's so easy to slip into comparison mode, scanning their wins, their lifestyle, their pace, and quietly asking yourself, why am I not there yet? But every second you spend watching someone else is a second you're not investing in your own future. That's the real cost, because focusing on others creates distraction, but focusing on yourself creates direction. When you finally stop chasing their timelines and begin showing up for your own, something powerful happens. Your energy shifts, your mind clears, you move with more purpose. Success doesn't come from comparison. It comes from clarity, discipline, and doing the actual work that moves you forward. In the next few moments, you're going to learn something that very few people ever truly master: how to stop comparing, how to silence the constant noise of outside opinions, and how to train your mind to stay locked onto your own path, even when the world around you pulls for your attention. Picture this: you standing at the very center of your own universe. Everything you want to build, every goal you've set, every vision that keeps you awake at night, it all begins with you, not in a metaphorical way, but in the most literal and powerful way possible. Your life unfolds according to the story you tell yourself and the commands you give your mind. I've spent years studying the habits and philosophies of the world's most successful individuals: industrialists, inventors, presidents, and thinkers. And one truth echoes through all their journeys. They didn't begin with money, power, or connections. They began with one thing: a definite purpose and an unwavering belief in their potential. Take Andrew Carnegie, for example. Born into poverty in a cramped, one-room cottage in Scotland, he immigrated to America with no wealth, no formal education, and no family connections. But what he did have was a vision so powerful it could not be extinguished by circumstance. Carnegie understood what many never do: that the greatest limitations in life are not the ones imposed by society, status, or environment. They're the ones we accept within our own thinking. And he refused to accept them. He didn't waste time watching others. He focused entirely on his own growth, his own timeline, his own belief. And that brings us to a powerful question: what could your life become if you did the same? Let's continue, because in the next part, we'll dive deeper into the mindset shifts that make this kind of clarity not just possible, but unstoppable. In the previous section, we uncovered how success begins the moment you stop comparing and start commanding your own path. Now let's go deeper into what that inner command truly looks like through the lens of unwavering focus. Andrew Carnegie didn't spend his time measuring himself against others. He didn't envy the fortunes of those who came before him. He didn't shrink in the presence of people who seemed better educated, more experienced, or favored by luck. Instead, he turned inward. He became a student of himself. He examined his own thoughts. He mastered his thinking. Every ounce of his energy, mental and physical, was directed toward the vision he had chosen for his life. He didn't bend to the world around him. He planted himself firmly at the center of his own universe, and he bent the world to meet his will. That is the lesson I challenge you to embrace. Stop looking sideways. Your neighbor's success? It has nothing to do with your potential. The promotions of your coworkers, the accolades of your friends, the recognition that others receive, none of that is your compass. You're not here to live anyone else's dream. You are here to awaken your own. And every single time you compare your journey to someone else's, you give away a piece of your power. You shift the center of your universe outside of yourself. And that's when things begin to fall apart. Your focus scatters. Your actions become reactionary. Your results become inconsistent. Do you see how dangerous that is? You must reclaim the throne of your own mind. You must believe, with complete conviction, that your ideas, your values, and your goals matter. They matter more than outside opinions, more than temporary results, more than any fear or doubt still living inside you. Because once you begin to operate from that center, life no longer happens to you. It begins to happen through you. Your thoughts become clearer. Your vision sharpens. Your actions line up with purpose. And somehow, the universe, strange and unpredictable as it may be, starts to respond. Because every lasting change begins within. All success is first created in the invisible realm of thought. Before the skyscraper is built, the blueprint is drawn. Before a fortune is made, the vision is formed. And before a man becomes powerful, he must first become disciplined in mind. So now I ask you, what is the vision you hold within? What idea burns so brightly in your heart that you can't let it go? Don't ask if it's possible. Ask if it's yours. Because if it's truly yours, then stop waiting for permission. Stop looking for signs. Stop comparing, hesitating, and doubting. Take the reins of your inner world. Declare yourself the master of your fate. You're not here to imitate. You're here to create. And remember this, the greatest souls in history didn't rise because they followed others. They rose because they followed their own inner voice. And you? You have that voice too. It's been there the whole time, quiet, steady, waiting for you to listen. Zustantai, go inward and begin building the life that only you were born to build. Because in the next part, we'll explore what it truly takes to hold that vision and turn it into reality step by step. In the previous section, we discussed how reclaiming your inner authority unlocks your power and how everything begins with the vision you hold within. Now, let's talk about the fuel that turns that vision into reality. Unshakable self-belief. Never underestimate the power of believing in yourself. Throughout history, those who soared the highest, those who left their fingerprints on the fabric of time, shared one remarkable trait, an unwavering belief in their own potential. This belief wasn't arrogance. It wasn't inflated ego. It was something deeper, something quieter, but far more powerful. It was a steady inner conviction that their vision was worth the fight. That no matter how long it took, no matter how many setbacks they encountered, no matter how fierce the resistance became, they would press on. Take Thomas Edison, a man who failed not once, not a dozen times, but over 10,000 times before he finally succeeded in bringing the electric light bulb to life. Most people would have given up long before. Most would have pointed to their effort, their exhaustion, their endless attempts, and concluded that it simply wasn't meant to be. But not Edison. Edison possessed something that every true achiever must develop, a deep belief in the worth of his idea. He didn't measure himself against the people who gave up. He didn't ask, why is this taking me so long, while others seem to succeed more quickly? He knew something most never understand. Failure isn't a verdict, it's feedback. Every time he failed, he didn't lose ground. He gained wisdom. Each attempt brought him one step closer to clarity, to refinement, to mastery. Every failure wasn't a dead end. It was another step in building the foundation of success. This is the mindset you must carry, because within you, too, is a seed of greatness. It may be quiet. It may be buried under years of doubt, hesitation, or fear. But it's there, and it's waiting for you to believe in it, waiting for you to act, waiting for you to nurture it through consistent effort, through discipline, through courage. But most of all, through belief. Belief isn't a luxury. It's not something reserved for the lucky or the gifted. is the foundation on which every form of progress is built. Without it, your ideas remain mere wishes. Your goals drift into the background as fantasies. Your talents stay hidden, and your brightest dreams begin to fade. Understand this clearly. Doubt and fear do not mean you're weak. They are part of the journey. Every person who has ever built something meaningful has walked through the valley of uncertainty. The difference? They kept going. They didn't let fear take the wheel. They didn't allow self-doubt to become the loudest voice. Instead, they built belief like a fortress. They repeated their vision until it felt like truth. They walked as if success was already theirs, long before the results ever showed up. And that brings us to the next step in your journey: how to protect that belief and build the mental discipline to carry it through, even when the world tries to shake it. Let's continue. In the last part, we explored how the world's greatest achievers held onto belief, even in the silence of rejection and the face of failure. Now, let's shift that spotlight onto you, because the question becomes not just what do you believe, but how deeply do you live by it? They stood by their dreams when no one else did. So now, I ask you, what do you believe about yourself? Do you believe you're capable of more than what your current life reflects? Do you believe that your dreams are valid, that your efforts matter, and that your ideas deserve pursuit, even if no one else sees them yet? If the answer is yes, then live like it. Speak as someone who believes. Walk with the posture of someone who knows where they're going. Plan with clarity. Think with conviction. Move, build, and show up as someone who knows success isn't just possible. It's already yours, if only you refuse to let go. Because waiting for the world to validate you, that's a fool's game. True validation never comes from outside. It begins within. The moment you choose to believe in your own power, your own direction, your own possibility, you begin to attract everything you need to fulfill that vision. The people, the resources, the ideas, the doors. They don't appear by accident. They appear because of your belief. This is what the great ones understood. Belief is not a feeling that shows up when life gets easier. It's a decision, a conscious, deliberate choice. May not once, but daily, hour by hour, moment by moment. And the more often you choose it, the more powerful you become, the more grounded you feel, the more unstoppable you truly are. You begin to discover just how vast your potential really is. Not because it suddenly appeared, but because belief unlocked it. So believe in yourself, not someday, not when everything is perfect, but right now. Because everything you're seeking is already waiting for you, just on the other side of belief. Open that door, step through it, and let the world witness the power of a mind that chooses to believe. And once belief takes root, there's another crucial piece that transforms possibility into progress: clarity of vision. Because even the strongest mind can get lost without direction. Let's continue and explore what it truly means to set a vision that guides your every step, like the greats who built legacies that still shape the world today. In the last section, we discovered that belief is the foundation, but belief alone needs direction. Without a clear target, even the most powerful mindset drifts. That's why the next step is non-negotiable: clarity of vision. Long before the world saw it, Walt Disney saw it in his mind's eye. He envisioned an empire of wonder, color, and imagination. And that clarity became his compass. It shaped his decisions. It anchored his persistence. This is the lesson. Clarity breeds power. When you know exactly what you want, you summon the full capacity of your mind to pursue it. You begin to move differently. You interpret the world through a sharper lens. Opportunities don't just pass you by, they stand out. Distractions lose their grip, and your energy starts to flow with intention because it knows where to go. But when your dream is vague, your results will be too. A blurry goal leads to scattered effort, but a definite aim, written down, reviewed daily, and pursued with conviction. That becomes a force of nature. It turns into a living contract between who you are and who you're becoming. So ask yourself, where are you going? This isn't a question to answer quickly. It demands thought. It demands silence. You must look inward and find out what you truly want. Not what others expect from you. Not what fear allows, but what your soul aches for. Is it financial freedom? Mastery in your field? Time? Peace? Contribution? Legacy? Whatever it is, write it down. Don't let it float around as a fleeting thought, because thoughts fade, but written goals become anchors. They remind you of your direction. They call you back when distractions tempt you to drift. Review your goals every day. Speak them out loud. Let them burn so brightly in your mind that no noise, no setback, no temporary failure can extinguish them. Let every decision you make be guided by this clarity. If it pulls you closer to your goal, say yes. If it pulls you away, say no without hesitation. Because clarity creates focus. Focus generates momentum. And once momentum builds, you can begin to move mountains. Don't fear the size of your dream. Fear a life lived without one. The greatest tragedy is not in aiming high and falling short. It's in aiming low and succeeding. The people you admire aren't lucky. They're intentional. They move with direction. They don't waste energy chasing 100 different things. They move like a river, steady, powerful, unstoppable, because they know where they're going. You must do the same. Define your goals. Make them specific. Make them measurable. Make them so clear that even on your worst days, you can read them and remember exactly who you are and why you began. Let your goals be your guideposts in the storm. Let them bring discipline to your habits, order to your chaos, purpose to your path. And in the next section, we'll talk about how to sustain that discipline, not just for a week or a month, but long enough to turn vision into victory. In the previous part, we explored how clarity gives birth to direction and how knowing your destination brings order to every decision you make. But clarity alone is not enough. To reach your destination, you must keep moving, especially when the road gets hard. And that's where resilience and persistence come in. Think about it. A man without a goal is like a ship without a sail, drifting aimlessly, vulnerable to every gust of wind, every passing storm. But a man with a clear purpose, he becomes a force, a builder, a creator, a conqueror of his own future. Clarity isn't a talent. It's not something you wait to be given. It's something you train, a discipline. And the more you practice it, the more powerful it becomes. Live by it, return to it, and you'll eventually look back not with regret, but with pride, because you knew where you were going and you found the strength to get there. Nowhere is this more evident than in the story of Abraham Lincoln. Today, we remember him as one of the most revered leaders in history. But long before he held the highest office in the land, Lincoln walked a path that most would have abandoned. He lost countless elections. He failed in business. He endured personal loss and public humiliation. He was rejected, dismissed, underestimated. By any standard of logic, he should have quit. Most would have, but he didn't. Why? Because Lincoln understood something most people miss. Failure doesn't define you, persistence does. He refused to let setbacks write his story. He saw every defeat not as an ending, but as a turning point. He treated every disappointment as a lesson, an invitation to grow, to adjust, and to come back even stronger. That relentless forward motion, that unshakable inner strength, is what transformed him from a man broken by life into a leader remembered by history. And the same principle applies to you. The road to greatness is never smooth. It doesn't come wrapped in comfort or convenience. It's rocky, unpredictable, sometimes brutal. But that's the point, because inside that struggle lies the secret. The struggle is the training ground for your future self. When obstacles come, and they will come, you have a choice. Will you retreat or will you rise? Will you let the storm break you, or will you allow it to shape you? The ones who achieve greatness are never the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who persist through it. They understand that setbacks aren't proof they're on the wrong path. Setbacks are evidence that the path matters. Every fall sharpens you. Every failure strengthens you. Every challenge builds the resilience you'll need to carry your vision across the finish line. And here's the truth. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one test, one failure, one hard day at a time. So now that we've uncovered the power of persistence, let's take the next step, learning how to turn that persistence into momentum and keep moving forward even when motivation runs dry. Let's continue. In the last section, we explored how persistence is not born. It's built one test at a time. And now we continue, because it's in those testing moments, those pressure-filled seasons, that something even deeper begins to form. Resilience forged through adversity. True strength isn't created when life is easy. It's born in the fire, in the moments when everything inside you wants to quit, but something deeper whispers, keep going. And when you do, when you push forward through fear, through doubt, through pain, something remarkable begins to happen. You grow, not just in skill, not just in experience, but in belief. You begin to see that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You start to understand that pain is temporary, but progress is permanent. With each step, your confidence strengthens. With each challenge, your spirit expands. Think of every great figure who left their mark on history. Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Edison, Nelson Mandela, Theodore Roosevelt. Each of them walked through fire. Each of them was doubted. Each of them failed. And yet they kept going. And because they persisted, they didn't just succeed. They became symbols of what's possible when a person refuses to break. So now the question turns to you. What will define you? Will it be the setbacks, the disappointments, the rejections, the moments when life didn't unfold the way you hoped? Or will it be your response to those moments? Will you rise like Lincoln and declare through your actions that no storm has the power to destroy a spirit that refuses to surrender? Don't wish for life to be easy. Wish for the strength to endure a meaningful life, a life of purpose, of growth, of impact. That kind of life doesn't come cheap. It demands resilience. It demands relentless persistence. And in return, it offers something priceless, the joy of becoming more than you were. So keep going, step by step, challenge by challenge. Let the world throw what it will. You're not here to fold. You're here to build, to rise, to discover what you're truly made of. And one day, when you look back, you won't regret the struggle. You'll treasure it, because it was in the struggle that you found your strength. Resilience transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Let it transform you into the legend you were meant to become. But as we continue forward, there's a hidden danger that can steal all this power without you even noticing. It's subtle, it's silent, and it's one of the most common traps on the journey to success: comparison. Let's explore why it's so destructive and how to break free from it. In the previous part, we uncovered how resilience is built in the fire and how refusing to quit defines greatness. But there's one quiet force that can undo all that progress if you're not careful: comparison. It slips in subtly, but its effect can be devastating if left unchecked. The truth is, no one else has lived your life, fought your battles, or carried your dreams. So why would anyone else's timeline define your worth? Ray Kroc, the man behind McDonald's global empire, understood this deeply. When he stumbled upon a small hamburger stand run by the McDonald brothers, he didn't waste a second comparing himself to other business owners. He didn't pause to wonder whether he could match their success. He wasn't interested in what they were building. He was entirely focused on what he could build. While others saw a small burger joint, he saw a vision so vivid, so bold, that it demanded his full attention. And with tunnel-like focus, he chased it. He didn't look sideways. He looked forward, eyes locked on his mission, not on the metrics of those around him. And that's exactly why he succeeded. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy. It clouds your vision. It poisons your progress. When you measure your worth by the success of others, you're playing a game you can never win. You see their highlights, not their hardships, their results, not their road. And you forget your own path is unfolding exactly as it should. When you obsess over someone else's timeline, you lose track of your own. You fall out of alignment. You begin chasing goals that don't even belong to you. And over time, you grow tired. Not because you failed, but because you stopped being you. Your purpose isn't to catch up with anyone. It's not to match them or outshine them. Your purpose is to become the most authentic, bold, and unstoppable version of yourself. That version doesn't come from comparison. It comes from creation. It grows not by watching others, but by looking within. Measuring progress not by the world's applause, but by your own evolution. So ask yourself, did you grow today? Did you learn something new? Did you take one step closer to your calling? If so, then you're winning, even if no one else sees it yet. Don't let envy rob you of excellence. Don't let someone else's chapter 20 make you feel small in your chapter 2. Greatness often begins in silence, behind the scenes, long before the world claps for it. But if you keep building, keep refining, and keep believing, the world will notice, because results always follow those who stay true. And in the next section, we'll explore what it truly means to own your identity, to lead from within, and to build a life that reflects not imitation, but intention. Let's continue. In the last part, we broke free from the grip of comparison and reclaimed the power to define success on our own terms. Now it's time to anchor that power by focusing on what truly matters: loyalty to your path and commitment to your growth. Be patient with your progress. Be ruthless with your focus. And above all, stay fiercely loyal to your journey. Because success isn't about winning someone else's race. It's about finishing your own with integrity, passion, and purpose. It's not about getting there first. It's about getting there fully, on your terms, with your values intact. So reclaim your focus. Bring your attention back to center. Silence the external noise. And when the urge to compare creeps in, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I'm not here to compete. I'm here to create. Let your journey unfold exactly as it's meant to. Let your growth, not the world's applause, guide your decisions. Let your inner vision, not external validation, define your success. Because the truth is, the moment you stop comparing is the moment you start living. And it's in that space, in that inner stillness and clarity, where your true greatness begins to rise. Now, as your focus sharpens and your path becomes clearer, there's one more truth you must embrace. Growth never ends. The most successful people are not those who remain rigid. They are those who remain curious, adaptable, and committed to lifelong learning. The world is constantly changing, and greatness belongs to those who evolve with it. Take Henry Ford, for example. Born into modest circumstances, he wasn't handed success. He earned it, not by luck or privilege, but by cultivating a relentless desire to learn, improve, and reimagine what was possible. Ford didn't accept the world as it was. He questioned it. He studied it. He redefined it. His success wasn't built on one great idea. It was built on endless curiosity, continuous refinement, and an unshakable belief in growth. And because of that, he didn't just transform his life. He reshaped the world's understanding of transportation, innovation, and industry. This is the path available to you as well. The moment you believe you've learned enough, the moment you start thinking you've grown enough, that's the moment your progress begins to stall. Because success is never static. It's dynamic. It moves. And if you want to stay in the game, you have to move with it. So don't stop expanding your mind. Don't stop reading, asking, exploring. Seek mentors. Question your own assumptions. Challenge what you think you know, because it's in the unfamiliar that you evolve. It's in the uncomfortable that you become more. True growth doesn't come from staying where it's safe. It comes from stepping into the unknown with purpose and trust. Adaptability isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Adjusting doesn't mean you failed. It means you're learning. It means you're growing stronger and more equipped for what's next. And in the next section, we'll explore how to make learning and adaptability not just habits, but a mindset that becomes the foundation of everything you build. Let's keep going. In the last section, we explored how adaptability fuels growth and why those who evolve never fall behind. Now, let's go deeper into what adaptability really means. Because true power doesn't come from rigid control. It comes from knowing when to adjust your strategy without compromising your mission. To adapt doesn't mean to surrender your value. It means to refine your approach, to evolve with purpose. The most powerful individuals are not the ones who never change. They're the ones who know how to pivot without losing direction. They move like water, flowing around obstacles, reshaping their approach, yet always moving forward toward their destination. Life won't always cooperate with your plans. Circumstances shift, markets change, people leave, opportunities vanish, and those who cling tightly to the old ways, to what's familiar or what once worked, often find themselves stuck, not because they lack talent, but because they resisted transformation. But not you, because you understand something essential. Learning is not a phase, it is a lifelong mindset. It's the fuel behind every breakthrough, every elevation, each new insight you gain, every lesson you absorb, every skill you develop. These are not random additions. They are tools, building blocks of resilience, giving you the ability to navigate the twists and turns of your unique journey with more agility and strength. Approach every day as a student. Treat every experience, especially failure, as a classroom. Ask yourself, what is this moment here to teach me? What strength can I gain from this? What adjustment must I make to move forward wiser and stronger? But in this pursuit of growth, beware of your greatest enemy, comfort. Comfort is subtle. It whispers, you're fine where you are. It convinces you to stay still, to stop pushing, to settle. But here's the truth. Comfort is not your friend. It is the silent assassin of potential. You weren't built for comfort. You were built to become. You were meant to stretch, to seek, to transform. And every time you choose growth over ease, every time you step into discomfort with courage, you grow stronger, more capable, and more prepared for what's next. So take the course. Read the book. Ask the hard questions. Make the tough decisions. Let go of what no longer serves you. Create space for what will elevate you. Your future doesn't belong to the ones who claim to know it all. It belongs to those who are willing to learn it all. Adapt, grow, rise, because in learning, you lead. In adapting, you shape your future. And in mastering change, you master your destiny. And in the next part, we'll uncover the hidden fuel behind it all. The force that breathes life into every action, every breakthrough, and every leap forward, passion and purpose. Let's continue. In the previous part, we uncovered how learning and adaptability are keys to unlocking your potential. But even knowledge and discipline need a spark, something deeper that keeps you moving when logic says stop. That spark is passion, and without it, the journey loses its soul. Helen Keller stands as one of the most powerful examples of this truth. Blinded and deaf before she turned 2, she lived in a world of silence and darkness. And yet, she never surrendered to her limitations. She didn't resign herself to a quiet life defined by circumstance. Instead, she was guided by a deep, burning desire to connect, to learn, and to contribute. That desire became her fire. Helen Keller didn't just overcome adversity. She transcended it. She became a renowned author, speaker, and global inspiration. And at the core of her triumph was one essential force: passion. Passion for knowledge. Passion for communication. Passion for making a difference. You may not face the same barriers she did, but you face your own. Challenges that feel heavy. Paths that seem uncertain. And if you want to rise, to lead, to live a life of meaning and fulfillment, you must find the fire within you. Ask yourself, what makes you come alive? What kind of work could you do for hours without even checking the clock? What mission or message fills you with excitement, purpose, and urgency? That is your passion. That is your calling. And once you discover it, everything changes. Tasks that once felt mundane suddenly carry meaning. Long hours no longer drain you. They fuel you. Obstacles no longer feel like blocks. They become puzzles to solve. You stop chasing motivation because your purpose pulls you forward from the inside out. Passion makes you magnetic. It sharpens your focus. It makes you feel fully awake, fully alive. Because passion turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It gives you the strength to keep going when others quit, the courage to take bold risks, the resilience to stand alone if necessary, and the drive to chase what others call unrealistic. But here's the truth. Passion isn't something you stumble upon by luck. It must be discovered and then chosen. Sometimes it's obvious and loud. Other times it's subtle. It whispers. You might have to try, to fail, to dig deep and explore unfamiliar paths before you find it. But when you do, hold on to it with everything you've got. Nurture it. Build your life around it. Let it shape your choices, your habits, and your impact. And when the world tries to distract you, when others try to pull you in every direction, come back to your passion. Let be your compass. Let remind you why you started. This is your fuel. Let passion guide your career, your relationships, your contributions. Let it breathe meaning into your work and joy into your days. Because in the end, it's not the most resourced or privileged who succeed. It's those who are most connected to their purpose. And in the next section, we'll explore how purpose, when anchored in service, can elevate not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Let's keep going. In the previous section, we discovered that passion isn't just a feeling. It's the fire that makes you unstoppable. It drives you forward when logic says turn back. And now, we move to the next truth. Your mind, when paired with passion, becomes the engine that creates your reality. It's not always the most talented or the most privileged who rise. It's the ones with the most fire burning inside. That fire lets them endure what others avoid. It pushes them forward when comfort tempts them to quit. It gives them energy in the face of exhaustion and clarity when everything feels uncertain. That's why you must never settle. Don't numb your ambition with comfort. Don't quiet your voice with distraction. Find your passion and give it everything you have. Because when passion leads the way, no dream is out of reach. You don't just survive, you thrive. You inspire, you lead, you live fully. Let your purpose be the magnetic force pulling you forward. Let your heart beat in rhythm with something that matters. And when you live with that kind of clarity, with that kind of conviction, the world can't help but notice. Not because you're shouting for approval, but because your light becomes impossible to ignore. And yet, to sustain that fire, to keep it burning when life gets hard, you must master the most powerful force you already possess, your mind. Your mind is not just a container of thoughts. It is the architect of your reality. What you think repeatedly, you become. What you focus on consistently, you attract. The outer world you experience is, in large part, a reflection of the inner world you've constructed. Norman Vincent Peale understood this deeply. Through his groundbreaking work, he championed the power of positive thinking, not as blind optimism, but as a practical tool for transformation. His message helped millions escape the grip of fear, doubt, and failure. How? By teaching them to shift their internal dialogue from defeat to determination, from I can to what if I could. Positive thinking is not a soft philosophy. It's a discipline, a strength, a way of navigating the world with purpose and resilience. When you train your mind to see the good, to expect progress, to search for opportunity even in struggle, you begin to reshape your reality. Challenges no longer seem like roadblocks. They become stepping stones. Setbacks become sources of wisdom. Failure stops feeling like the end and instead becomes part of your evolution. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this here to teach me? That subtle shift unlocks incredible power because thoughts are not neutral. They are active. They shape your words. They drive your decisions. They guide your behavior. And over time, they shape your results. A mind trapped in negativity will always find a reason to give up. But a mind rooted in positivity, it finds the strength to keep going, even when the path gets dark. And in the next section, we'll dive even deeper into how mastering your inner dialogue doesn't just change how you think, but transforms how you live. Let's continue. In the previous part, we saw how positive thinking is not a fantasy. It's a powerful force that rewires your mindset, redirects your actions, and redefines your future. Now, let's look deeper into how your inner world shapes every step of your outer journey. Because when your thoughts are aligned with possibility, you always find a way to move forward. When you choose to think positively, you align yourself with solutions. You tap into creativity, resourcefulness, resilience, and even faith. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and ideas that reflect the energy you carry. Doors that once seemed permanently shut begin to open, not by chance, but by choice. The choice to see with clarity. The choice to believe, even when it's hard. Now, that doesn't mean life becomes easy. Positive thinking is not a denial of reality. It's not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about confronting life head-on, but doing so with strength and hope. It's about being able to look at darkness and still believe in the light, to walk through fire and still trust that something greater awaits on the other side. That's why you must treat your thoughts as tools. Select them like a master craftsman. Carefully, intentionally. Don't let fear, comparison, or negativity take up space in your mind. They have no place in the house where your dreams are being built. Start each day by setting the tone of your mind. Speak affirmations that declare who you're becoming. Visualize success before it shows up. Surround yourself with voices, environments, and habits that feed your belief. Guard your mind like treasure, because that's exactly what it is. And when negative thoughts arise, and they will, do not accept them as truth. Challenge them. Redirect them. Reclaim your mental space. Say to yourself, this is not how my story ends. Your inner world creates your outer results. If you want a better future, build it first in your thoughts. See yourself as powerful, capable, worthy, abundant. Long before the world reflects it back, you must reflect it to yourself. Because here's the truth. The people who changed the world weren't the ones who had it easy. They were the ones who believed in themselves, even when no one else did. Even when the odds were stacked against them. And you have that same power. Your thoughts are bricks. With them, you are building something, a life, a legacy, a future. So build with belief. Build with purpose. Build with clarity and conviction. The future belongs to those who believe in it. And when you believe deeply enough, with enough consistency and certainty, the world has no choice but to rise and meet your vision. Let your thoughts lead you there. And now that your mind is aligned with possibility, we'll shift to the next critical step, decisive action. Because dreams alone do not build empires. Knowledge alone does not create change. In the next part, we'll break down what separates those who dream from those who actually rise. Let's continue. In the last section, we saw how belief, when anchored by intentional thought, builds the foundation for a bold future. But belief alone is not enough. It must be followed by action. And not just any action, decisive action. This is the defining trait that separates those who merely imagine from those who actually achieve. Throughout history, those who left a mark weren't always the most educated, the most talented, or the most prepared. But they shared one thing in common. They moved when others paused. They acted boldly when hesitation held others back. And in doing so, they shaped not only their own lives, but the world around them. Think of Amelia Earhart. She didn't just dream of flight. She took flight. In an era when women were discouraged from stepping into the skies, she stepped boldly into the cockpit. Her actions broke barriers. She didn't wait for permission. She didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. She moved, and in that motion, she made history. You too have dreams. You hold knowledge. You've gathered ideas, plans, even strategies. But none of that matters unless you take the leap. The world will not reward you for what you intend to do. It rewards you for what you actually do. Hesitation is the enemy of momentum. The longer you wait, the more fear takes root. Doubt begins to grow. Opportunities pass you by. Momentum disappears. And before long, your dreams begin to fade. So what's the antidote? Decisiveness. Not recklessness, clarity in motion. It's the discipline of making informed choices and then acting on them, even when conditions aren't perfect. Because here's the truth, conditions will never be perfect. Waiting for certainty is the silent killer of bold dreams. Every small step matters. Each action, no matter how small, is a brick in the foundation of your future. One phone call, one decision, one brave conversation. These are the seemingly small moves that, when done consistently, build extraordinary results. Make it a habit to act. When inspiration strikes, move. When opportunity appears, seize it. Let decisiveness be your compass, the force that protects you from drifting, the fire that keeps you from delaying. Remember, you are the author of your life, but only action moves the pen. So choose boldly, act swiftly, and trust that even if you stumble, you're still moving forward. Each step gives you feedback. Each choice sharpens your vision. This is how growth happens. This is how confidence is built. The most successful people aren't the ones who never failed. They're the ones who refused to stay stuck. They kept moving. They kept choosing. They kept acting. And now, with this momentum behind you, we move to the next pillar of greatness, the power of consistency. Because big dreams are built not just in single moments of courage, but through steady action repeated day after day. Let's continue. In the last part, we explored how decisive action sets the foundation for transformation. But action alone is not enough. It must be consistent, deliberate, and rooted in purpose. Because the truth is, you were not born to live cautiously. You were born to live deliberately. Let your life be guided not by fear, but by forward motion. Don't allow hesitation to become your default. Don't let dreams sit idle on paper. Because in the end, it's not what you plan to do that defines your legacy. It's what you actually did. So be bold. Be intentional. Step up and shape life on your terms. The journey to personal excellence doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with a choice, a decision to stop waiting and start creating. Right now, embrace the path that is uniquely yours. Set goals that stretch you. Cultivate resilience when things get tough. Reject the trap of comparison and stay adaptable as life evolves. Stoke the fire of your passion. Keep your thoughts aligned with possibility. And above all, act decisively again and again. Your future isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you, for the moment you decide that enough is enough and you begin. So ask yourself, are you ready? Because the greatest achievements, the ones that change lives, build legacies, and inspire generations are not found in the distance. They lie within your reach, waiting for the courage only you can give. Seize your moment. Let your light shine boldly. And in doing so, become a guide for others to find their own path forward. Wishing you strength, clarity, and unwavering belief in all you are capable of. Stay healthy, stay inspired, and don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more empowering journeys like this.